feel like I've read a ton of Kasie West books, like specifically her contemporary romances, but then I think about it and the only one I've read other than By Your Side is actually The Fill-In Boyfriend, and this one I read on prom night instead of going to prom because this book had like a prom scene in it. It started out at prom, so instead of going to prom I read the book about prom, and unfortunately I didn't time it right because what ended up happening was I finished reading the book right when prom started. That could have been better planned out, but it wasn't terrible. It was fine. It was a really good book. Like, it was better than By Your Side, but I have to say that I really enjoyed By Your Side. Couldn't stop reading it, although my favorite parts of the book had to be the first 40% of it. Oh, and before I get into any more of it, have you seen the cover? Because it's gorgeous. I don't even know. I saw a review earlier that pointed out how P.S. I Like You, which I haven't read yet because by the time it actually came out last year I wasn't in the mood for a pen pal romance, but I am feeling some Kasie West cravings right now, so I'll probably read it soon. But anyways, that is the one Kasie West contemporary romance that actually shows the heads of the cover models. Everything else looks like this and this and this. They cut off at the head. I definitely prefer the cut off head because it leaves a lot of stuff to the imagination. I don't know if that says anything about the book though, because I have enjoyed the headless covers that I read, but I guess we'll have to see with P.S. I Like You. Hopefully I enjoy that as well though. So if you guys don't know what this book is about, it's about a guy and a girl who aren't really comfortable with each other, who don't know each other very well, and they are locked in a library overnight, except this overnight thing is actually during Martin Luther King Day, I think. Like, so the entire weekend, so it's like a 3-day weekend. This girl, Autumn, she has anxiety disorder, so being locked in a library is not exactly good for her and is obviously causing some anxiety issues, and she doesn't have her meds, she doesn't have her phone, she left all her stuff in the car of a friend and they didn't notice that they left without her. Dax is the guy in here and he has a juvie record. There are many rumors around why he went to juvie. He's thought of as like not a scary person because when Autumn finds out that he's there with her, she doesn't freak out, she actually feels more relieved. But yeah, so they're not exactly fans of each other. Autumn didn't even know that Dax even knew who she was. They're locked together, so they have nothing to do but get to know each other, or at least that's what you'd think. And then a whole bunch of stuff happens from here and I don't want to spoil anything, so definitely go check out the book if you're in the mood for a contemporary romance, or you know, the library thing, the locked in a library thing sounds like it's for you. Alright, people who don't want spoilers, now's the time to go because I'm gonna get deep into the plot. Hi guys, okay, I'm back and we're gonna talk about spoilers. Dax and Autumn are locked into the library basically at the very beginning, and yet I still had no patience to see Dax because we're reading from Autumn's point of view. It takes like 5 pages for Dax to show up and I was just like, where is he? When will she figure out that there's someone else in here? When will he show himself? And he finally did, and it was great and I really enjoyed it, and he's a very monosyllabic silent type person and I love that about him, and it was surprising how much you can get to know about him from just his actions more than his words because he did not say much. I just thought that he was really cute, and the relationship with him and Autumn was actually really well done. I know that these characters could have been developed more. They were a bit flat, but honestly it didn't bother me at all while I was reading it. I definitely could not stop reading because I was so excited to see what would happen. One thing I loved specifically about Dax was that when he realized Autumn was having the anxiety attack, he actually pulled the fire alarm, even though he specifically asked her not to before because he didn't want to go to a group foster home because he has these terrible foster parents who don't care about him and this is his last chance. He's almost 18, he can almost live independently, but not quite, and he does not want to go to a group foster home. But when he realizes that Autumn is having an anxiety disorder, he quickly pulls the fire alarm because he cares so much about her and he's such a good person, and he is now in a group foster home and she doesn't realize that. She thought he slipped out the back when the firefighters and everyone came to rescue her, but he didn't. That was just so sweet of him. And also, like, he's continuously sweet from the beginning, even when Autumn is really mean to him and suspicious of him and betrays his trust by looking through his purse and taking his food and toothpaste and all that good stuff, which is all so fun, so fun. I love their time in the library, but he would always make sure she was covered and give her the sweaters and the socks and the sleeping bag, and it was just so cute, and I really loved his character, and they were so perfect for each other too. They understood each other without even needing to speak, and even though they didn't get along that well at first, they grew comfortable with each other, and it was just so sweet to see. And I loved when Autumn realized near the end, when she realized the guy she had a crush on was not the right person for her, when she realized the difference between what he made her feel and what Dax made her feel. Dax made her feel comfortable and happy, and the other dude, I can't remember his name because I can only remember Dax right now, but he didn't make her feel like that. He made her feel like a mother, and nobody wants to feel like a mother in a relationship. I also love the bigger story with Dax's mother and the relationship there. I thought it was going to go in a different direction. I thought that she would actually be a good mother, but it was really kind of sad when she wasn't, because I actually thought that she was being honest, that she would wait for Dax to be ready and for Autumn to be ready to tell Dax, but no, she just betrayed Autumn's trust and totally like lied and contacted Dax anyways, which was awful because I honestly saw a more happy ending coming for him. And that one quote really made me laugh when Autumn was like, "If you kiss me, you're gonna fall in love with me," and Dax did. Like, he actually did, and I just found that so funny. Autumn was actually still in the middle of the love triangle with that one dude and Dax. I'm not even sure if you can call it that though, because the dude was in a coma for a large portion of the novel, but at the same time, he was present in his mother and the pressure that his mother put on Autumn. The dynamics in this book was just really interesting to read about. The different pressures that it put on Autumn were really interesting to see how she would react to them. I'm glad she finally realized that she shouldn't go after a person or pursue a person just because she may have made mistakes in wanting him before, and I'm glad she didn't feel like she had to keep on pretending that just because the dude's mother was crazy. And I mean, I get it because obviously he talked about her a lot, so the mother would assume that they were basically a thing, and he was in a coma, so she would obviously try everything to get him to feel better. But I don't know, that was just a really awkward situation, honestly. I'm glad she extricated herself out of that, but I am sad that it took her a while because it hurt Dax for a while. Also, the like friendship, non-friendship thing between Dax and Autumn for a while after the library, that was a bit weird and awkward and could have been done better, but again, I just really love Dax and Autumn, so I would read anything having to do with them at all. This was just a good contemporary romance. I gave it 4 stars out of 5. Not 5 out of 5 because, again, it could have been developed more. There could have been more plot points, and less of it could have been about the relationship, or at least a more well-developed relationship. But either way, the book made me happy. It was super cute and a really fast read too, in case that's something you want right now. Even though I didn't give the book 5 stars, I really enjoyed it, and every time I think about it, I love it. And again, the cover is absolutely gorgeous, and oh my gosh, I'm really craving a Kasie West novel right now. P.S. I Like You might actually be the next book I read.